Let's get started with our first news. Dana White is already beginning to put together the UFC's highly anticipated debut event on Paramount, and it looks like Ilya could be the one to headline the card that marks the start of a brand new era for the organization. Speaking with reporters after Tuesday's episode of Dana White's Contender Series, the UFC CEO revealed that matchmaking for the first Paramount event officially started literally today. White said, "Matchmaking was today, and we started working on the first Paramount card today." While many of the sport's biggest names, including Jon Jones and Conor, have their eyes set on the massive UFC event planned at the White House in June, Dana made it clear that anything is possible when it comes to the Paramount debut. Jones and Conor, however, operate on completely different timelines compared to most fighters. Conor hasn't fought since 2021 and remains suspended for violating the UFC's anti-doping policy until March, which means he's not available for the January card. That opens the door for Ilya, one of the UFC's fastest rising superstars, to take center stage. Undefeated at 17-0, Ilya has destroyed every opponent placed in front of him. He captured the featherweight championship with a brutal knockout over Alexander Volkanovski in February 2024, then defended the belt in October with another vicious finish against Max Holloway. Not satisfied with just one division, Ilya moved up to lightweight, vacated his featherweight title, and continued his reign of destruction by knocking out Charles Oliveira to claim the 155-pound crown. When asked if Ilya could headline the Paramount debut, White replied, "It's a possibility." Dana also addressed the upcoming end of the UFC's long-running deal with ESPN, reflecting on the partnership and promising fans a strong finish. "We're always going to try to put on the best cards that we can," he said. "We've had a great relationship with ESPN. Everybody's starting to feel it coming to an end, but they've been great to us and to the sport. We want to deliver a badass final card for them." Move on to another news. Dana White recently spoke about the much-anticipated UFC event planned at the White House, but according to him, it's still far too early for any concrete discussions. Following the latest episode of Dana White's Contender Series, the UFC CEO held his usual post-fight press conference where the topic of the White House card came up. Reporters pressed him about the progress, but Dana made it absolutely clear. Nothing has been discussed yet. He said that despite all the excitement surrounding the idea of the UFC taking over the White House lawn next year, the organization hasn't even started planning a single fight for that card. "We have literally not talked about one fight on the White House card yet," Dana admitted. "We won't even start till February." His tone made it clear that while the concept is real, it's still in the very early stages of planning, and fans will have to wait a bit longer before any official matchups are announced. One of the biggest talking points during the press conference was, of course, Conor. Recently, Conor was suspended under the UFC's anti-doping policy, which made headlines across the sports world. Many fans began speculating whether he would still be eligible to fight on the White House card, considering his suspension is set to end in March, just months before the planned event. When asked directly about Conor's potential involvement, Dana didn't give a definitive answer. He simply responded, "We're not even looking at the White House card till February. We haven't talked about one fight yet. Whether he's available or not, you'd have to talk to Nitsky about that." Dana was clearly trying to steer the focus back to the present, emphasizing that his team is still busy handling ongoing events and upcoming cards before turning attention to the White House spectacle. This response shows that the UFC's White House event, while generating massive anticipation, is still in the preliminary phase. Dana's comments also reflect how much goes into building a card of that magnitude, from logistics to security to fighter availability. For now, the UFC seems focused on finishing strong with its current schedule and preparing for its major debut under the new Paramount deal. Fans can expect updates closer to February, when Dana and his matchmaking team officially begin building what could easily become one of the most iconic and historic events in UFC history. Move on to another news. RDR recently went off on Paulo Costa after talks for a potential fight between the two completely fell apart. Before Brendan Allen stepped in as the short-notice replacement for the upcoming UFC Vancouver card, RDR was actually in discussions to face Costa. But according to RDR, things quickly broke down because Costa had way too many demands. Speaking in an interview with MMA Fighting, RDR revealed how everything went down. "Costa would have been fun," he said. "He's a fun dude, and the entire buildup would have been cool. We were in conversations with him first, but he started putting too many stipulations." RDR explained that Costa didn't want a standard matchup. He wanted a catchweight fight, and only 3 rounds instead of the usual 5. RDR and his team refused to play along, saying if Costa wasn't ready to take the fight on fair terms, then he simply didn't deserve it. RDR continued, "If you get an opportunity like that, don't be a coward. Just say yes. Don't start adding all these conditions." He would have had a great chance to get back into the title conversation, but instead, he made it complicated and we said, fine, we'll move on. With Costa out of the picture, RDR quickly shifted focus. The UFC found Brendan Allen as a short-notice replacement, and now the two are set to share the octagon this weekend in what promises to be a war. RDR seems motivated and ready, saying that he's always willing to fight anyone who actually wants to fight, not negotiate terms. His frustration with Costa clearly shows that he values competition over comfort. Meanwhile, Costa's next move remains uncertain. After his win over Roman Kopylov back in July, there's been no official word on when he'll step back inside the octagon. Costa has struggled to maintain consistency in recent years, dealing with injuries, contract disputes, and now, missed opportunities like this one. RDR's comments highlight a growing issue in modern MMA. Too many fighters trying to control every detail, rather than simply stepping up and testing themselves. As RDR prepares for his battle with Allen, he's made one thing very clear. He's here to fight, not to negotiate. And for Costa, this could have been a massive opportunity to climb back toward the top, but instead, it slipped right through his hands. Move on to another news. Khamzat has officially called out Alex Pereira for a potential showdown at light heavyweight, and he believes it's the perfect opportunity to become a double champ. During a recent interview with Oslam Badv, Khamzat made it clear that he's ready to move up to 205 pounds and challenge Pereira for the title. Confident as ever, Khamzat said he sees Pereira as a great matchup and feels he has all the tools needed to take that belt. He said, "If you ask me, of course, I would love to fight for the second belt. It's no secret the guy who's got the belt at 205 right now is a very good matchup for me, except if I get reckless." Standing with him, he acknowledged Pereira's dangerous power but reminded everyone that he's never been afraid to face hard-hitting opponents. "They say he has a lot of power, but I've never been edged out in that area. He used to fight at 185 too, then moved up to 205, so I would like to fight at light heavyweight." Khamzat's mindset is simple. He's here to fight anyone, anytime. "Whatever they give me, Nasruddin, RDR, or Hernandez, I don't care," he said. "Just pay me some good money." His calm yet fearless attitude shows that Khamzat isn't chasing easy fights or cherry-picking opponents. He's focused purely on proving that he's the best across multiple divisions. The possibility of Khamzat versus Pereira has already sparked massive excitement among fans. Pereira's elite striking and knockout power would make him a dangerous challenge, but Khamzat's world-class wrestling and relentless pressure could be the exact formula to neutralize Pereira's stand-up game. A fight between these two would be a true clash of styles, brute force against relentless domination. Khamzat also emphasized his philosophy about competition. "When you take it so easy, I've always been like that," he said. "If you consider yourself the best, you shouldn't care who you have to fight." Those words perfectly sum up Khamzat's mindset. Fearless, hungry, and ready to take on anyone who stands in his way. If this fight ever gets booked, it would be one of the biggest and most explosive matchups in UFC history. The unstoppable force of Khamzat against the powerful champion Alex Pereira in a battle for light heavyweight glory. Move on to another news. Dana White has just added a brand new fight to the UFC 321 card at the very last minute. With UFC 321 only a week away, the pay-per-view lineup has officially gained another exciting matchup. It was reported earlier this morning by Lert Vana that Valter Walker will now take on Lewis Sutherland in what promises to be a high-energy clash inside the octagon. This addition comes after a complicated situation that unfolded back at UFC Rio. Walker was originally scheduled to fight Muhammad Usman, the brother of former welterweight champion Kamaru Usman, but the bout was cancelled after Usman showed elevated levels of testosterone in his pre-fight testing back in September. The news caused a stir among fans and left Walker without an opponent. But now the UFC has stepped up and found a new challenger in Sutherland to keep him active. Walker, known for his powerful striking and relentless pace, will look to make a statement in this matchup. After months of frustration and uncertainty, he finally gets a chance to remind fans why he's one of the most dangerous rising heavyweights on the roster. Sutherland, on the other hand, comes in hungry and fearless, ready to prove he belongs on a massive stage like UFC 321. Both fighters have knockout power, and stylistically, This fight has all the ingredients for an explosive finish. Dana White has made it clear that UFC 321 is shaping up to be a stacked event, and this last-minute addition just adds more heat to an already loaded card. The UFC has built a reputation for delivering big surprises close to fight week, and this move continues that tradition. Fans can expect fireworks when Walker and Sutherland step inside the cage, a true battle between two heavy hitters with something to prove. With the card now finalized, UFC 321 is set to deliver another unforgettable night of fights, showcasing the very best talent from across the organization. As fight week approaches, the anticipation continues to build, and Dana White once again proves that when it comes to putting together action-packed cards, the UFC always finds a way to deliver something extra. Move on to another news. Garry has once again stirred up controversy, this time going off on former welterweight champion Leon Edwards. During his recent appearance on the Ariel Helwani show, Garry didn't hold back his thoughts, taking some sharp shots at Leon and questioning whether he should even still be fighting. "I've been saying this for a long time," Garry began. "Leon Edwards should be retired, and we might actually see that happen soon. I'm shocked he even took the Prates fight in the first place." Garry went on to say that if Leon ever agreed to face him in an all-or-nothing fight, he'd take it in a heartbeat. "If he was willing to fight me for all or nothing, I'd fight him in a second. Because I'd make sure he'd leave there absolutely punched, round, and unconscious, and leave with no benefit," Garry said confidently. Garry made it clear that he has zero respect for Leon or his team. "I have no desire to see him nor his team ever again," he added. The Irish welterweight also revealed that he'll be supporting Carlos Prates in Leon's upcoming fight. "I'm going to have a Brazil flag on my shoulders come November 15th, cheering for Carlos Prates and watching him spark Leon Edwards unconscious." Leon is scheduled to fight Prates just a week before Garry's statement, and this trash talk will undoubtedly fuel even more tension heading into fight week. Considering the rivalry brewing between Garry and Leon, many fans are already speculating about a possible future showdown between the two. Garry's comments come as he continues to build his reputation as one of the most outspoken and confident fighters in the division. Whether it's calling out veterans, taunting rivals, or backing up his words inside the octagon, Garry is quickly becoming one of the most talked-about figures in the UFC. As for Leon Edwards, all eyes will be on him to see how he responds. But one thing's for sure, Garry's words have added even more fire to an already heated welterweight scene. Move on to another news. Khamzat has made a shocking accusation against Sean Strickland, claiming that the former middleweight champion once brought a weapon to the gym after a personal dispute between them. The incident reportedly happened when Khamzat was training at Extreme Couture, and according to him, things escalated quickly after a misunderstanding in a group chat. In a recent interview, Khamzat opened up about what went down, saying, "I don't know. When we used to train together, he was normal, but one time I got angry with him. The next day he was walking with a gun. He thought I'd attack him." Khamzat explained that it all started from a small argument in their gym's group chat, where a misunderstanding turned into something much bigger than he expected. He continued, "We had a group chat for our gym, and there was one guy from Chechnya in it. He wrote something and I thought all Chechens are strong. So I replied to him, 'You're an American chicken. I'll beat you up. Later.' He said I misunderstood him." Khamzat admitted that at the time his English wasn't great, and that made it easy for small comments to be taken the wrong way. "That's all that really happened," he said. "I spoke English badly at that time, and I couldn't tell you exactly what was said. He said something about Chechens or something like that, and I thought he said something bad, so I immediately reacted just in case." According to Khamzat, Strickland must have taken the situation more seriously than he intended. "The next day, he came to the gym with a gun," Khamzat recalled. "He thought I was going to attack him. I didn't even mean it like that. It was just a misunderstanding." The story highlights just how intense things can get inside top MMA gyms, where competitive energy often mixes with strong personalities and national pride. Khamzat's story also gives a rare glimpse into his early training days, where language barriers and fiery tempers sometimes led to explosive situations. While Strickland hasn't yet responded to these claims, Khamzat's comments have already sparked a wave of reaction online. Fans are calling this one of the most bizarre stories to come out of the MMA world in recent months, showing just how unpredictable life behind the scenes of top-level training can be.